Hey guys, Bill Spadea here. Welcome back to our new streaming show, our podcast brought to you by New Jersey 101.5, Common Ground, with me, your host, Bill Spadea. We are in downtown Main Street, Flemington, New Jersey, in beautiful Hunterdon County today. As you know, we have spent the last year out and about. Jody, my wife, and I have been on the road 3, 4, 5 events a day, and the whole focus has been empowering people, empowering small businesses, empowering families, making sure that the message gets out that New Jersey is only as strong as the small businesses that line main streets up and down from Atlantic County to Sussex County to Hunterdon County to Mercer and Somerset, Ocean and Monmouth, and everywhere in between. It is so critical. Did you know that 1.9 million New Jerseyans work for a small business? Think about that for a minute. We're a state of 9 million people, and 2 out of every 9 people are working in a New Jersey small business. So we looked around at all of the politicos that are out there, and we said, you know, you guys have been getting it wrong for a long time. This whole concept of mainstream. What is mainstream? You know what? Mainstream politicians are trying their best to hurt this state. We need to have Main Street leaders. Main Street leaders who appreciate what small businesses are doing for the backbone of not just the entire state economy, but everything that happens locally. So I am proud to be out here on the sidewalks here in Flemington. We love it here. This is a great town. As you know, Jody and I we've lived in 5 different counties. We actually had a house in Warren County, and Clinton, Flemington, those towns were our go-to spots, and it is just so great. You can see some scaffolding behind me. You're going to hear the traffic going by. You're going to hear hammers and jackhammers and everything else, all signs of a growing, vibrant local economy that is coming back strong. And even though government has done a few things, you know, they're fast to throw some scraps off the table at you, the reality is that strong towns like Flemington, counties like Hunterdon, are as strong as the people who rise up every single day. Now, don't get distracted by the customers who walk in front of the camera every once in a while. We want them to be here because you can go right ahead. Go right ahead. You're fine. You know, you never know what you're going to get with a live broadcast. So here we are. We are at the Corner Store on Main Street in Flemington. Now, the good news is that we told everybody, don't worry about the cameras, don't worry about the broadcast, just come on in. And what I want to do is introduce you to the owner. Dave Norton is here. He's right over here. Dave, come on in. Give him a round of applause. We have a nice studio Main Street audience here. Hi, Dave. How are you?
How are you?
Great to see you.
Nice
Go ahead, put the headphones on. It'll be a little bit easier. So, as I said, we talk about Main Street businesses. We talk about how the backbone of really everything we do, employment, how you feed your family, how you take that next step, how you get the kids off to trade school or college, all happens with what happens on Main Street. So, Dave, tell me about the Corner Store.
Sure. So the Corner Store is a pandemic baby. We opened this thing in January of 2021. My wife and I, we just had our second kid.
Yeah.
He was 2 months old when we opened this place.
No
so it's
kidding.
Kind of our third baby. We started off as a place to be where someone would go before going to a friend's house if they didn't want to show up with a bottle of booze or wine.
Yeah.
They come here.
Love that idea.
Yeah, they pick out a gift or two to bring to their friends or their family. And
wait, what did you do before this? If this was the pandemic baby?
So I'm a professional photographer. My studio was actually
kidding.
in the back here for quite a while. It's now upstairs in this building. I'm paying 3 rents in this building.
Wow.
Yes. So I've got a lot invested in downtown Flemington, and it's going to pay off.
The mayor's here. She heard you. That's
yes,
good.
That's right.
That's good. And there's a lot of smiles going around on that. So you started this. I love the idea that you have to bring something when you visit someone's home. And as things winded down and people are going back out again, what was the first gift idea? What was the basis for it? Was there a theme to the store?
You know, there's the overarching theme to the store is that we want to be a place in Flemington that brings our community together. My wife and I are very active locally, trying to build up the town. I take a lot of photos around here and share them, and the first gift idea was a tea towel with Flemington on it. Actually,
I love
looked
that.
At the photo that I took of it last night. That was the first thing that we purchased for this store. So it was always about Flemington.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Now, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Northern Virginia.
No
Fairfax.
kidding.
Yep.
What brought you to Jersey?
My wife, who grew up in Flemington.
No kidding.
Yep.
So this is hometown for her.
Yep.
And hometown for you now with
It
kids.
is, yep.
That is fantastic. What have you seen over the past year? So it's hard to get the perspective of pre-pandemic, right? In terms of what was in this storefront.
Before we came in, it was a place called the Social Norm, which was a alcohol-free bar and social club space.
Yeah. No kidding.
And before that, it was a restaurant that had the best macaroni and cheese and baked potatoes in town. Sounds like a strange combo, but it was
Right. No,
fantastic.
it doesn't. Starch and carbs. Are you kidding? Sounds delicious. The mac and cheese goes in the potato. We got that covered. Don't worry. So you start this up. I think we're going to be fine with the wind. We're good. We're all good. It's a beautiful day here in Flemington on Main Street. We're talking to Dave Norton, who owns On the Corner. And let's just talk about the store for a minute in terms of the traffic that you get. Is it people know about you, they find you on the internet, or are you finding that there's been an increase in street traffic, folks just walking in?
Folks find out about us mostly from our Instagram and our Facebook, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for that free
What's
marketing.
the Instagram? Go ahead and plug it.
The Corner Flemington. Thanks.
The Corner Flemington.
Yeah.
That's great. Is there any theme that's a bestseller? Is it the tea towels? Is it cups? Is it snow globes?
Gosh, well, I mean, we just got in a very large amount of Flemington-themed Christmas ornaments, and we're almost out. So if you still need one, get in here today. It's a lot of the local stuff that sells the best.
Yeah. And we are live, by the way, on Thursday, November 30th. So get your Christmas shopping done right now. Come down to the corner right here on Main Street. You honestly can't miss us. We are a spectacle. We've blocked the sidewalk. We've got the truck here from New Jersey 101.5 in the tent, and I'm confident the tent is weighed down enough. We're going to be okay. So let me ask you, as the town has changed, I mean, now we're in November 2023. We're about to get into 2024. So you'll have been open almost 3 years, right?
Yep.
Going into our third year. What have you seen change over time? Are you seeing that influx of people that are starting to come back and interact and do the window shopping?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely been a slow rise. I will say that this year has been brutal for retail, I mean, across the country.
Yeah.
But the holiday season is starting off super strong, so that's awesome. But we are definitely seeing a lot of, this hotel project, which I hope you guys talk about a little bit later, is really getting a lot of people pumped up about the potential and future of Flemington again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've heard people talk about it, and we'll be joined by Mayor Caro in a little bit, talk about Flemington as a destination. I mean, you don't think of Hunterdon County necessarily as a destination, but you've got this beautiful downtown. I mean, main streets like this are such an old school. It's like a throwback, right, to when everything was on Main Street. I think you've got that right here, and we've done a couple of car shows here, and I love it. I love Flemington. I love the atmosphere. I love the people. It's great. What specials are you running today?
We've got 10.15% off. Y'all can figure that out for everybody.
10.15% off everything in the store. Any exclusions?
Right. No exclusions.
All of it. The Christmas ornaments included.
Exactly.
All right, great. And where do you live? You live close by?
I live in the borough. I am right down the street. I could walk to work in 4 minutes, but I never do because I've got small children and 2 insane dogs.
What kind of dogs?
Labs.
No, labs, that's great. Yellow labs?
I've got a black and a chocolate.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Do they shed?
Yeah.
All right, so that's a whole other story. We'll do the dog show next time. I have to tell you, Dave, it was great to meet you. I really want to thank you for the hospitality and the invite here. I mean, we're sitting here blocking your storefront, and people are walking by in front of the camera, which is fine with me, but I appreciate you setting this up and let us do it.
Thrilled to have you, Bill. Thank you so much.
Great to meet you.
Yeah,
Thank
nice
you.
to meet you, too.
Dave Norton, the corner store here on Main Street in Flemington. Isn't that fantastic? Think about the American dream, where you've got somebody that can live a 4-minute walk away, raise their kids, raise their dogs, have a family, and walk to the place that puts food on the table. It's amazing. This is what we are fighting for in New Jersey. This is not something that is just an anomaly or an outlier in Flemington. And as you see, as we take Common Ground, our podcast, across this state, and we take the Small Business Monday that we've been doing with 3-4 visits every day for the past year, we're now going to camp out in a main street over the course of the next 12 months, and every month highlight one of these great towns. But today is Flemington, New Jersey, in beautiful Hunterdon County. I want to introduce now my friend Marcia Caro, who is the mayor of this great borough. So great to see you, Mayor. How are you? Great to see you. Yeah, give her a round of applause. She's doing a great job. Marcia Caro is somebody who I've known we were just discussing this off air. I think we've known each other now more than 20 years.
I don't even know when we met.
Right? It had to be before I ran for Congress, which was at least, I think, 110 years ago. So it was sometime in the last century that we met.
When you were running for Congress, I was in the legislature, and you would call me weekly and whine to me to support you. So I do remember that.
I don't know if it was a whine or if it was a strong ask. And I'm not sure if I remember if you decided to do that or not. So I'm pretty sure you didn't send a check. But anyway, Marcia, so let's talk about Flemington. You're the mayor here. Things are certainly changing with the demographics of this town. It's growing. There's more traffic coming in, and you've got a major investment. We can see the scaffolding behind us. Yeah. What is your take on where Flemington is right now and where it's going?
So, it's been a struggle for a number of years. When I was growing up in Flemington, and I am a Flemingtonian, born and raised, Main Street was it for Hunterdon County. Everybody came here to shop. Where we're sitting right now is a drugstore. So we had a drugstore on Main Street. There was a supermarket down the street, 2 men's clothing stores, 2 children's and adult shoe stores. There was a children's clothing store. We had 2 department stores on this street, and everybody came here. It was the place to shop. And then the mall was built out in Bridgewater, and it really hurt downtown. And the businesses started changing, and they started becoming more office oriented. And when people shop, they want an economy of scale. They don't want to go to a store like this great corner store and then hit, office, a lawyer, or whatever, services. They want an economy. That's why, why you see banks across the street from each other on corners, why you see drugstores on streets, across each other. It's the same thing with people who shop. They want to be able to shop. They want to see where they're going. They want to be able to buy. And, and now it's like there's a resurgence of downtowns, I think, across the United States. Historic tourism is never been bigger, and this town is charming. It's got 17th century very old roots here, some 18th century buildings. This street is a 19th century street, with a lot of history, some very big trials, not just Lindbergh and our courthouse, but other big trials that were here that were on top of the fold across the United States. People don't even know about.
Yeah.
And it's because of the persistence of people like Dave and Allie, his wife, to come back to this town, or just come onto the street. Peacock across the street, to have 2 gift shops across the street from each other is tremendous.
It's amazing, right?
It is amazing.
How about the restaurant scene? How are we doing? Coffee shops, we're getting there?
The coffee shops are slow. People who want restaurants they want to move in ready, and we don't have a lot of move in ready space. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of reluctant landlords to do some cleanup, and hopefully, I'm hoping, the Union Hotel project includes 250 apartments that are supposed to be upscale, and those people are going to want, the kinds of quirky, little funky stuff that Flemington is known for, and we do have some really quirky, wonderful
is there any
restaurants.
Reason we don't see a lot of? I don't see a lot of chains. I don't see. I see local.
You don't see a lot of chains in Flemington, and actually, one of the reasons is because of the liquor license law.
Yeah.
Liquor licenses, we have 3. They're all broad C's, which means they can sell retail, they can cater, and they can have a bar. They're limited.
Yeah.
They're limited. We don't have a lot of liquor licenses. If that law changes, you might see some of our liquor licenses going to chains. The Union Hotel license was sold to a chain, and then it's coming back. So, and then,
But I don't see, and I'm not knocking Starbucks, but I don't see Starbucks. I do see Peacock. I see a few other small places as you come in. It seems that really is preserving the character of what the town was and where it's going.
Yeah,
in a good way.
And I hope it stays that way. Tea Berry's was down. Tea Berry's is a nationally recognized tea shop. It was down the street heading north. It's moving up the street heading south. We're so glad that it's staying in town, and it's actually they're actually buying their own building now. So they're really making an investment and commitment to town.
Marcia, I also know I know you got a grant from the state, and it enabled you to build the police building out that you needed to do, and those infrastructure costs. What else should state government or could state government be doing for a town like Flemington?
Oh boy. They need to stop creating regulations by rule rather than legislation. state mandate, state pay, if anybody doesn't know what that is, says that if the state of New Jersey passes a law that's going to impact local budgets and county budgets, they have to pay for it. So the way they get around that is having the DEP and the DOT and everybody else regulate through rule and regulation, and then they don't have to pay for it. So they're killing us financially with lead abatement. I mean, things that we support, but we have no money for.
Right.
Lead abatement.
Imagine bureaucrats in Trenton getting in the way. It's shocking to me.
Well, I mean, I support every regulation in the state of New Jersey created by rule to have a sunset where it has to be revisited.
Yes, of course.
And then, it needs to go to the legislature. I mean, they are the body that should be making that, that money that we got for our police building, that grant came directly as a request from me to our local state senator, Senator Zwicker, and who had personal conversations after he toured our police building with the governor. He's our representative. Nobody, the DP works real hard, and I don't want to bash him too bad.
But that's how it's supposed to work.
But they don't represent us.
Right. It's
senator.
Supposed to work that way, where the legislators are accountable to the mayors and the towns, and that's so. In one sense, that's a good thing, and it's not a partisan issue. That's just how good government should work. Real quick, in the 30 seconds or so I have, what's next for Flemington? What do you see over the course of the next few years? You're not up for re-election until November 2026, I believe. So you've got some time to. Does it feel like it's 20 years away, or does it feel like it's around the corner? Does it depend on the day?
Well, Flemington is in a resurgence, and it's a renaissance. And one of the things that we did this year on the council, and I've been trying to do this for 20 years, is we got all of downtown Main Street rezoned so that when the existing businesses, not businesses, but existing services, lawyers, whatever, vacate their premises, it's got to be replaced by retail. We need that economy of scale, the way the Clinton is done and Lambertville is done and Frenchtown is done. And I've been harping on this for 20 years, and so now it's going to take a long time for everything to flip. We're not kicking anybody out, but we're hoping to get that economy of scale back here that saw Main Street so busy with so much traffic, it would take you 5 minutes to cross the street.
Right.
Right. So that's what I'm hoping for.
I love it.
Is to give these businesses that kind of support.
Marcia, thank you.
And entertainment and things to do on Main Street to also bring people down here.
I love it. So great to see you.
You too, Bill. Thank you so much.
Great to see you. Thank you. Marcia Caro, you're a Flemington mayor. Thanks for joining us. All right, I've got a quick commercial that I want to get to. We want to thank our sponsors, not just Epic Financial, my good friend Rob Gill, who's been a sponsor of our podcast since we rolled it out. As you know, we had our studio in Red Bank, and now we're on the road. I don't know if they kicked me out and put me on the street. I'm not sure what happened, but here we are. But Epic Financial and, of course, my great friend Helmy, who runs Guaranteed Service. Now, I said this on the radio, and for our studio audience and our at-home audience, if you hadn't heard my story, the pipes in our house, the roots finally got into the sewer. The whole thing backed up on Thanksgiving morning. Yeah, that really happened. Thanksgiving morning, imagine that. So anyway, with a little bit of a circus in the morning, we got it done. But why? Because I called Guaranteed Service. They were at my house in 90 minutes. Here's a quick word from our sponsor.
Hi, Joe here from Guaranteed Service. There's nothing worse than having your furnace or boiler break down during a cold spell. That's why this is a perfect time to take advantage of our $77 furnace or boiler tune-up. Our 21-point checklist covers everything needed to keep your system running safely and efficiently. We'll even guarantee no breakdowns all winter long or your repairs free. So call today for our $77 furnace or boiler tune-up and you'll become a customer for life. Guaranteed.
Rob Gill here, founder of Epic Financial Strategies, and we are so proud to support Bill Spadea's live streaming show, Common Ground. Are you worried about your financial future? Are you concerned about the bank failures in the economy so far in 2023? Would you like to change your mindset about money, secure your financial future? And if it sounds like you, go to www.moneymindset2023.com. We have a gift of a personal financial website for you. What you have to do is click the red button, go on the website, fill out the form, first name, last name, email, and phone number, so one of our members can reach out to you. There's no obligation. It's a consultation where you could claim the personal financial website, which, by the way, allows you to connect all your financial institutions, so all of your decision-making is based on logic, math, and science, not emotional timidity, not a gut-level hunch, or not somebody's opinion. Looking forward to spending some more time with you.
Hey guys, Bill Spadea here. Back with you on our live broadcast, Common Ground with Bill Spadea. I'm your host, as you know, brought to you by our great partners at Epic Financial Strategies, Guaranteed Service, and of course, New Jersey 101.5. We are here on Main Street in Flemington, New Jersey, beautiful Hunterdon County. As I remember, the former Republican chair, Henry Kuhl, used to refer to Hunterdon County as God's country. And if you've ever spent some time in Hunterdon County between the vineyards and the farms, it's just such a beautiful place. Behind me, you see some construction. That's because there is a lot happening in Flemington. It's one of the reasons why we're here. This morning on the broadcast, you heard from my good friend Jack Cust. As you know, his son played Major League Baseball. A number of teams got drafted out of high school to play for the Arizona Diamondbacks and went on to have a 10-year baseball career. Well, the Cust family went on to found Diamond Nation, and they've literally helped thousands of families across New Jersey with high school athletes. Jack was actually named one of the top influential people in New Jersey as it pertains to high school sports, and I think that is fantastic. Well, he's based right here in Flemington, and his latest project is the renovation of this building. There's going to be a 100-room hotel, 250 apartments. So Flemington is changing and growing in a great way. And as I've said over and over again on the broadcast, when I am on TV, whether it's Fox or News Nation or Newsmax, I've talked about the incredible strength that our small business community provides to our economy. 1.9 million New Jerseyans working in small business. So we are here on Main Street because, you know, a lot of politicians try to be tricky about it. They try to talk in sound bites. They want you to think that mainstream is more important than Main Street. No, it's not. You know what's important? Main Street. The folks that are right here. As you know, you met earlier Dave Norton, who is the head of On the Corner. That is this great shop. He and his wife, Allie, run this great store that they opened in 2021 at the height of all of the nonsense. It's a great gift shop, and today it is November 30th, Thursday. We're here live at about 12:30, 1 o'clock. I'm not even sure what time it is, but we're here in the afternoon. They're offering 10.15% off. All right, so before I bring in my next guest, Julie, I want to ask Ken to come on in. Ken owns a store and a restaurant here.
Not a restaurant.
What do you own, Ken? How are you?
Antique shop.
Antique shop. You know, well, here's the problem. So because we're live, I didn't put my glasses on, so I didn't read it. I just saw the bright. Go ahead, put the
That's
headset
fine.
on.
Sure.
All right, ye old antique and curiosity shop. Tell me, Ken, how long you been open on Main Street in Flemington?
We started back in 2015 at 20 Main Street,
Yeah.
which was just a tiny little shop, maybe 600 square feet.
Yeah.
And then we were successful. We wanted to invest in this historic, charming town. We live up the road in Clinton. And so we are now down at 139 Main Street, where we have a 3,800 square foot space. And today we are expanding. We just got word about an hour and a half ago. So we are locked into a 10-year lease into this
Well, that's
town.
great. That's great.
And we bring a lot of people from all over the country to Flemington because we're recognized internationally. So
That's
it's
fantastic.
wonderful. We do estate sales, we
Yeah.
do clean outs, but most of all our
How do
passion.
people get in touch with you if they're not walking downtown today? Is there a website? Is there a place you want them to go?
We are doing a new website, but they can call us at the shop at 908-227-6641. That's 908-227-6641, or stop by at 139 Main Street.
That's fantastic. Ken, congratulations.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
I
Thanks
hope you
for-
run for public office, buddy.
Well, as my lawyers have asked me to say, the thought has crossed my mind. So we'll keep you posted.
Yeah,
Thank you,
gotta
Ken.
do
Very, very important guest. Why? Because when you think about someone that just signed a 10-year lease, what have I been saying on the radio for the past 8 years? 10 years if you include the time I had with Fox. The reality is that we are digging in. Why are we digging in? Because New Jersey's great, and we have a ton to offer. The only problem with New Jersey are the politicians sitting in Trenton. That's the only problem. Once you start to turn them over, let me tell you something. This state is going to rise to the level that this state has always had with the great potential, and you can see it today with business owner after business owner digging in. My next guest, Julie Parker. She is a small business networking leader. Julie, come on in. She's also carrying roses, as you noticed, because my assistant Sharon, who is here as well, who does a great job producing this show along with Kevin, she reminded me, Julie, that it was your birthday.
It is.
Yeah, and she's like, I want to get her
Thank
roses. So
you.
this is from us.
You're such a
Yeah, well,
sweetheart.
you're welcome. Happy birthday. And remember, birthdays are always celebrated as anniversaries of your 39th birthday.
Exactly.
So that's it. It's 39, and then it's an anniversary of, right? Always said it. Julie, you and I have been talking for a while. You opened the door to really Hunterdon County and Flemington for us and our Common Sense team. We're here because of you. So tell me about your business networking. What does it mean? I mean, we had 100 people at that restaurant when we showed up that first time.
Alfresco's,
We
yeah.
went to Alfresco's in Flemington, and I was blown away because we'll do some of these events, and it's great. 20 people show up, 30 people show up, and you're like, that's fantastic. For some of these small shops, that's as many people as they've had.
Yeah.
We walk into Alfresco's, packed wall to wall. And from that, we have built a lot of small business relationships from the owners. So tell me from your perspective as the head of a small business networking organization that is micro-focused on Flemington, New Jersey. How has it been? What are you hearing from your business owners?
Okay. Well, thank you so much for everything you've said about me. It really is. I love Flemington. I've been here over 30 years. I used to have a store right there, 48 Main Street. It was an Avon store and Posh Boutique, and that's how I met Ron Van Horn and a lot of my sweet friends that I work with now. Part of my network is just people that I've met throughout the years.
Yeah.
I started the Small Biz Networking Group 13 years ago, and it's an online, it's advertised online under meetup.com, and we have meetings every month, lunch meetings, breakfast meetings, dinner meetings. And we change the venue every so often, and we started it at the Connections Cafe down the street. It was the previous Bible bookstore by Kim Grom and Bob, who were great in this town. And then I had Avon store. I had an Avon store and Posh Boutique for 4 years, so I've been in retail. And I
Wait,
had
Julie, in the last 2 minutes, you've just given us a history of Flemington. Are you writing a book? Because I
Yes,
want you to.
I am.
Because you just painted such a great picture of this town, of how it has evolved over the past few decades. I love it. I love hearing that. I love that you have retained the addresses and the names of the owners. Guys, that's what small town America is like. And people think they come to New Jersey, they drive through the turnpike, and they're like, Jersey, it's about the crowding and the congestion. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's about this right here.
Community.
Yes, community.
And it's always good to give back. And I felt small biz networking is not something that I make money from, but I make friends and network. And that ultimately comes back to you. So I just always like giving back. And I think all of us do in this town. We all care about Flemington. We just want to see improvement and go forward. And we'd like to see the borough and the township work together. There's politics, of course.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And you're always going to have that. But I give
let
a
me
lot
just
of
ask you about that for a minute. So, and I, our Small Business Monday is as I don't say apolitical, it's not political, meaning we don't put any judgment on what your background is. We don't care. It's about
Right.
your business. Who are you employing? You're going to hear me say that the Democratic majority in Trenton has really hurt small business, and I will be unapologetic about coming after the majority because they've hurt us, and I think our governor has hurt us. That said, there are a lot of local Democrats, some even who have been on the show today, where we're able to mix Democrat and Republican
Work
and
together.
independent and work together. I say
Exactly.
this, Julie, our audience, and people ask me, they're like, you've got some pretty strong stances on some certain issues. Is your audience all Republican? I say, first of all, it's the largest audience in the state. Second of all, a third Republican, a third Democrat, and a third independent. Because people who love New Jersey come in all shapes and sizes, all political beliefs. We all have the common ground of, no matter what we feel about certain national issues, certain national players, whoever you're going to support for president next year, what I care about is, what are you doing for Main Street? What are you
Well-
doing for the town and the community? And that's what your members really exemplify.
Exactly. And I use a lot of social media, and I use you.
Of course.
Great help. And we put events together. Ron Van Horn, for 20 years, has been doing the car shows on Main Street, and I got involved with Ron when I worked with Northlands. So I was the general manager at Northlands. And that's where I met you. And I
we
took you
met
on a
at
tour.
Northlands.
Exactly, with your son.
Although I remember the tour at Northlands, after an hour, there's a sign that says, you are now 40% done.
Exactly.
Anybody else do that? I'm like, all right, hold on, I gotta go. But very, very cool place, certainly, no doubt about it. Tell me about the new members coming in and how you bring new people into the fold. And how do people get in touch with you if they're thinking of starting a business, they have a business, and they want to find out, how do I become a part of this?
Okay. I do a lot of networking. I go to chamber events. I help out with the car shows, so I get to meet people, and I get their business cards, I get their contact information, you shake hands, you get to know somebody, and then you just start writing about them on Facebook and LinkedIn, and you start recommending people. I'm a connector. So I'm a connector.
Yeah, you really are.
So I connect people with each other, like John DeRosa and Ron and Dominic Ragno, our veteran here, who does tremendous work with the veterans. He's visited over 8,000 veterans the last few years, and he's wonderful. It's just so many great people in this town.
Yeah.
I just feel that we need to start thinking positive and not nitpicking and really working together.
I love that. I think that's fantastic.
And I like guest speakers. I bring in guest speakers like you.
I was honored to be a guest speaker. Let's just, and I'm happy to come to your next event. You let me know. Happy to do that.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the car show. When is the next car show?
Ron Van Horn has all that information.
Why don't we bring Ron Van Horn
get
in?
Over here.
But
you can stand behind me and talk with me.
Yeah, come on in. You know what? We could share a mic. We're going to do this.
Let's do it.
A lot of my career has been making it up as I go along, and that's something. Sometimes you just have to do that. Ron, good to see you.
Hey.
All right, let's hold this up for the camera. We're going to hold. So this is Flemington Car Shows. Talk about an authentic American. I mean, what a slice of small town America, right?
Yes. He's
All
got
right,
a T-shirt for you.
It's a little close for comfort, Ron. All right. Look, you do what you got to do. Here we are. I may need a bigger size, Ron. I'm going to just tell you, I don't know if this one's going to cut it. But all right, so we have the Flemington Car Show coming in. Ron, tell us about the car show. When is the next one?
I don't know. I'm trying to get a grip on this mic here.
Yeah, you're okay. You're good.
Yeah, you're doing a good
You got to
job.
roll with it. Adapt and overcome.
All right,
That's what we
anyway.
said in the Marines.
Thank you, Bill, for coming out and the gang here at 101.5. We appreciate the exposure in our beautiful, historic downtown here in Flemington, New Jersey. And you said it right. Small business. It's all about small business. Actually, I think this country is probably running 80% on small businesses. And so it's important. And let's see, well,
it's half the employment in New Jersey. Think about that. Almost 2 million people.
Big.
Working in small business in New Jersey. How many of those businesses, when we heard a third of them were closed during the lockdowns, that should have been the only thing government was focused on for those first 6 months, saying, how do we get all these businesses back on track, get them open? We got to address things like the corporate business tax. We got to address things like the deductions that these businesses don't get. And, we heard from our mayor, Marcia Caro. She said it right, that how many of these unfunded mandates come in and are on the backs of small business. One of the things that they did after COVID was to replenish the unemployment fund, that insurance fund. They stuck a new tax on small business instead of paying it back with the federal COVID relief money. They had $6.2 billion. None of that went to help our great small businesses. So,
well, listen.
Sorry for the rant. Let's talk about the car show.
We're certainly welcoming change, and you can see that happening behind us. We're excited about the project behind us here. A long time coming, actually. But going back, I don't know, about 30 years ago, we had the Flemington Raritan Business Association, and which was all volunteer, small businesses, small business owners rolling up their sleeves, trying to hustle up pennies for events and activities and things, to do downtown. And we created 20 years ago the Flemington Car Shows as a way to get the community out, get them outside, get them onto Main Street, let them walk, stroll the streets like they would see in a natural setting, come out with families, the kids, the dogs, and see what we have to offer, and then maybe come back another day and spend some money.
When is the next car show?
We kick it off usually the last Saturday in May, and we do about 6 to 8 shows, depending upon what we can squeeze in there. We work together with Love Flemington, the Flemington Community Partnership. Robin Lapidus will be talking in a couple of minutes here. We actually folded up the Raritan Township, the Flemington Raritan Business Association when we formed the bid structure. And that's when Love Flemington, the roots of it, all came into play. And it's been a great experience. And the group there has done a great job with helping to have a budget to help support revitalize, retain businesses, small
Well,
businesses.
I can tell you this, Ron. Thank you, and thanks for joining us.
Anyway,
and
thanks,
Mike
Bill.
Brandt is here from New Jersey 101.5, and you see the big yellow van is here. We will be back, of course, in force for the car show. And what I'd like to do is schedule our next Flemington podcast around the car show. We'll be here outside
That'd be great.
doing the same thing, blocking traffic, making it inconvenient for everybody. You know what we do.
I have
All
an
right,
idea.
so
I have an idea.
go ahead.
Jack Cust has Diamond Nation. Robin and I have met many times about this. Diamond Nation brings thousands of people into Flemington, right? And Northlands. We wanted to connect with a trolley or some kind of transportation, Diamond Nation and these key places, and bring people to Main Street to shop.
I love that idea.
That's the kind of stuff we
I
need
think that's
to
a
do.
great idea. Let's talk about that as a policy initiative. Julie, so nice to see
Thank
you.
you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Sorry
All right,
for
great
my
to
cold
see you. No,
hands.
you're good. Cold hands, warm heart, right? Happy birthday. Guys, give her a round of applause. Happy birthday. Julie Parker doing a great job. Let's bring in Robin Lapis, who's the executive director of Love Flemington, and I believe it is loveflemington.com. Robin, come on in. There it is. And you've got signs. How you doing?
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thanks for coming in. Here, you want me to hold the sign for you?
Yeah.
You got a lot of stuff. You got a bag of stuff.
No,
Are there gifts in
and
there?
I brought bells too.
You got bells. You got
Yes.
gifts. Here we
Here,
go.
I brought you some bells.
Thank you. I need
You're
that.
welcome. Here. You just slap it on.
Look at this. All right. Thank you.
Is this good?
I love it.
So,
In the holiday spirit, in the Christmas spirit.
thank you for bringing this.
I got a
media-
shirt. I got this.
You brought
I
a
love
media
coming to Flemington.
circus with you.
I did. I know.
I love it.
We travel with a circus. Look, it is about bringing attention. And
Thank
I think
you.
you've got to do that with bright lights and tents and vans and signs. We can't be quiet about supporting small business, and we can't be quiet about supporting Main Street. And I think that that's something that kind of has been lost over the past 10 years. So what you guys are doing here, I love. Tell me
you.
about loveflemington.com.
Sure. So we are the Flemington Community Partnership, the Flemington Business Improvement District. We represent almost 450 businesses in this 1.4 square mile small country New Jersey town.
Yeah.
So that's a lot. We have 90 health, wellness, and fitness businesses.
No kidding.
No kidding. But what we need is visibility and exposure and great cheerleaders to help us help people find all of the businesses that are here.
Yeah, and bring them in.
and
So
to
if they're
connect-
listening, so we've got,
Sure.
as you know, from the radio program, from the podcast, we're talking to the largest audience in New Jersey.
Love
so there are a
it.
lot of small businesses listening, paying attention, following us now. Where do you want them to go if they say, okay, I want to get my business the exposure that it deserves?
Well, I want everyone to bring your feet to the streets of our historic borough. We have 3 business areas. We have something for everyone. We have a beautiful historic Main Street, which doesn't it feel great just to sit out here?
I love it. I love it. We had
And-
talked about being inside, and I thought, no.
Yeah.
We talked to the team, and we talked to Dave, who owns this place, the corner store right on Main Street. He's like, yeah, block the sidewalk. It's fine. It's all
I
good.
think we should do this
Absolutely.
all the time. But we also have a Stengel Arts and Cultural District where the former pottery studio is.
Yep.
We also have highway shopping plazas that have a mix of mom and pops, like the Italian bakery, which
Right.
is very beloved, and some bigger box stores. So you can go to your home goods, but then you really need to come downtown and get something extra special that you're not going to find anywhere
Well, you
else.
think about, so On the Corner is here. You're not going to go on Amazon and find a Flemington-specific ornament for your
No.
Christmas tree. And it's something that you're putting that money back into the local economy. You're helping a family pay for the food that's on their table.
And
Even though
you're-
we're all jealous of his commute.
And you're
4
not
minutes, he
you're
walks.
not going to find a Dave Allie Norton.
Right.
They're 2 kids, they're 2 dogs, they're 2 stores
Yeah.
living right down the block. And by the way, it was because of COVID that Dave was home and found that this spot was going to be available. And that's really
You take the silver lining and everything, right?
Yeah.
So what's the greatest challenge that you see for the business community in Flemington?
I think kind of starts at home. And, there's just an element of being kind to your neighbors who are working so hard to bring great businesses to you. And it does mean thoughtfully, stopping yourself from buying something on Amazon to drive your car, park, get out, walk around, and be a part of something.
Yeah. And by the way, plenty of parking. We found plenty of parking that is 2 hours. And I didn't have to pay for it. I was just going to say it. That is something that's you go to certain places and you've got to find it on the app. You've got to put in the time you're in. Then the old days you had to feed the meter. Here in Flemington on Main Street, you just park. As long as you can find a spot, you are good to go. We found a spot just a few cars up, so not too bad. In the middle of a busy day, and there's traffic.
Awesome.
Right?
And you arrived the day the snowflakes just got installed, and
I love it.
We have a holiday parade that I really hope you'll come back
So
for.
is this on a Sunday? Is it next Sunday?
Our parade for the first time is on Saturday, this Saturday.
That's why we're not in town. We were going to do it. Julie told me about it. We tried to work it out. I thought it was on Sunday and we were going to be in, but don't worry.
It
We'll
is
be
a
there next year.
spectacle of Hunterdon County businesses and talent, and it's awesome.
I'll tell you this, if you take some video, we'll post it to New Jersey
I love that.
101.5's
Thank
website,
you.
let people see it. So if you guys get some video of that, that would be fantastic.
Awesome.
I really appreciate you
Thank
joining
you.
me. So nice to
I
meet
look
you.
forward to speaking again.
We are
And
certainly going to
thanks-
talk again.
Thanks for creating this opportunity for all of our
Happy to
our
do
people.
it. Happy to do it. So, guys, as we wrap up today, and we're going to wrap up with a song today, a man I met who is a true patriot and a great performer, because this is all about Main Street. And what that means to me is it is about America. It's about our sacrifice as Americans. We have a great country. And, we have a great state. And Flemington is a great community. And I think too many people do a couple things. One, they give up too easily, and they say, you know what, my vote doesn't count, so I'm not going to vote. The last election, 2023, November 7th, do you know that 8 out of 10 New Jerseyans stayed home? Think about what would have happened if just 3 out of 10 had voted, 4 out of 10. Game changer. Same thing in 2021. States like Virginia saw massive changes on behalf of parental rights and small businesses and law enforcement and keeping the streets safe and the economy vibrant. What was the difference between Virginia and New Jersey? Very simple. In Virginia, 6 out of 10 voters turned out to vote. In New Jersey, 6 out of 10 stayed home. So it's all related, and you'll see us out and about. We're going to be here for the next year, making sure that every main street in New Jersey is highlighted, making sure that towns like Flemington are highlighted, making sure that business owners like Dave and Allie are elevated and honored, and we shine the spotlight on them, because when you think about 2 million New Jerseyans, how many families that represents, how many grocery bills does that represent, how many people rely on calling 911 in that group, all of that happens because we keep a vibrant economy going. And look, forget about the reckless, foolish politicians that lead this state currently. And guess what? Some of them are in both parties. This is not a partisan attack. It is a common sense approach to saying we need the backbone of this country. If we're going to take this country to the next level, if we are going to preserve and protect our freedom, if we are going to preserve and protect our economy and take it to the next level so we can provide even more to so many. I mean, we are already doing that as a nation, but we can be even better. We can be stronger. We can overcome some of the difficulties and the challenges that we've had, but only if we work together to respect the true backbone of our great country, our state, and this town, and that is Main Street and the businesses and the families that make it happen. But do me a favor, for everybody that's here in the studio audience, big round of applause for our Flemington Police Department, because none of this happens without our hero cops being there. And that goes for all the first responders, the firefighters, the nurses, and we're speaking for everyone, the retail shops, the owners, the workers, the waitresses, the bartenders, the truck drivers, the Uber drivers, the teachers' aides, and everyone in between, because you all make this state what it is. So that said, John, so great to see you. First of all, thank you for being here. If you could,
Bill.
before you
Great to see
start,
you again.
if you could just explain what this song you're about to sing, what this means, what inspired it, and why you've got such a passion to present it.
Well, I was reading a story about how a pilot was bringing a body back from Afghanistan, and when he got to the Air Force Base, the only family members that were there was a wife and a 5-year-old son, and all he could do was hand the 5-year-old son the folded flag. And that had already got me emotional thinking about it. But as I continued to read his story, as years went by, it always bothered him that that's all that was there for that soldier. And he decided to look the family up, and it was a little bit too late. The kid had just died from a drug overdose. The family had no help and no support. So I'm the former lead guitar player for multi-gold and platinum recording artist Jamie Teacher in Nashville. And I was like, I'm going to write a song. I know people, I know what to do, and I want the lion's share of the profit to help the families of the fallen soldiers and first responders. And within days, the song came out, and it was ready to go.
Where do people find? I want you to play it and perform it. But where do people go? They find it on Spotify.
You can find it on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, every major streaming, Deezer, Tidal. It's on YouTube.
And is there a website people can go so they can give money?
Yeah, you can go to my website, www.johnderosamusic.com.
Good.
And look me up on Facebook. Since this has been happening and people have been asking me, I'm going to set up some type of fund.
Yeah.
Because people are like, it's only 99 cents for the song. We want to give you more. And it's starting to get a little overwhelming for a regular guy just to do it.
You know what? It's a good problem to have, John. And whatever I can do to help,
Thank
that.
you.
The mic is yours, the show platform, and across all of our media, we're going to help you.
Thank you so much. And the song's called 13, the number 13. I grew up here. I went to 100 Central. I remember walking up and down this in the morning, holding hands with a girl, getting out of school, holding hands with another girl, and then the girl in the morning catching me and chasing me all up and down these roads here on Main Street. But Bill, it's amazing what you do. I think I fell in love with Ronald Reagan. He came here, and when I was in 8th grade, and he was at the Flemington at the fairgrounds, and you remind me so much of the energy and the stuff that he has. And
thank you. It's a huge compliment.
I started writing a song about you. It's not finished.
Thank you.
But it's getting there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It means a lot, John.
It's going to be pretty good. I'll send it
Thank
to
you.
Sharon when I'm done. But thank you, Flemington. I grew up here. I have so many friends and family. My parents still live in White House Station, and looking back, the memories. They're like when you watch the old movies. Yeah. We grew up here, and it was like that.
John, it's worth fighting for.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's worth fighting for.
Without a doubt.
That's what we're here to do, right?
Without a doubt.
We're not going to let them take it, and it's not about going back. It's about going forward, but preserving those values that are so important to every American, especially right here in small-town America.
Definitely.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Floor is yours.
So here we go. Like Bill says, live, you never know what's going to happen. Close my eyes, I see your face. Remembering you is my saving grace. I feel your touch, I hear your laugh. On angel's wings, you're free at last. 13 folds in the fabric of time, on the mantle by your picture. There's 50 stars and 13 stripes, 13 folds, and now you're home. Red is for the blood you shed, white is for the story left unwritten. Blue is how my heart aches. 13 folds in the fabric of time. Just for a moment, your light shine bright. Destiny's wings, you took flight. You're in my heart, my very soul. Now that you're gone, you're a hero for all. There's 13 folds in the fabric of time. On the mantle by your picture is 50 stars and 13 stripes, 13 folds, and now you're home. Red is for the blood you shed, white is for the story left unwritten, blue is how my heart aches. 13 folds in the fabric of time. Red is for the blood you shed, white is for the story left unwritten, blue is how my heart aches. 13 folds in the fabric of time.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you
John,
very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much, my friend.
Guys, let's hear it again for John DeRosa. What a patriot. What a great guy. And another round of applause for all of our veterans who have served this great country. Thank God for them and their sacrifice. And a quick round of applause. Sheriff Fred Brown stopped by. He's here. Round of applause for one of the best sheriffs in New Jersey. Guys, that's going to do it for me. I want to thank all our guests. I want to thank everybody in Flemington, on Main Street. All of you contribute so much to making this one of the best towns in America. Stay tuned for the next Main Street that will be coming back at you live. And, of course, stay tuned to the show, New Jersey 101.5 FM, every morning, 6 to 10 a.m. Follow me on social media at Bill Spadea. And continue to pray for, stand up, and act on behalf of this great country. That's all for me. Have a great rest of your day.